Game on. So all I have to do is pull these switches. This is also probably the shortest gathering of levels in the entire game. Like the first level took me less than 4 minutes. The second level took me not that long, maybe 10. And then this one, it took me like 5. Like, no, it couldn't have taken me 3. It was like 3, 3, and 3, and then like half thrown in there. Because it's only 10 minutes into the game, and I'm now on the 4th level. At this rate, I'm only going to get 2 episodes out of this, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It just means that this is going to be shorter. Wait, Revenge of the Sith Chapter 3. Am I getting confused? Yep, I'm 100% getting confused. That was definitely the end of the second level. Probably should have ended that in the last episode. I was thinking for some reason that was the 3rd level. So this is actually a cool level. This is, again, last episode was a boss fight with Count Dooku. This entire level is just devoted to a boss fight with General Grievous. So, it's a cool level. But again, it's a short level if you know what you're doing. Which I do. It's... because this is the part that people don't understand with new LEGO games. Is the fact that... although these are boss battles, you're not just running up and wailing on them, or even like in Dark Souls, where you learn their attack pattern or any of that shit. You are literally just using your brain. You hit them, and then they run away, and then you solve a puzzle to be able to hit them again. And that could consist of force pushing stuff back at them, destroying platforms underneath them, parkouring around them, jumping on stuff while blowing other stuff up. Like, there's so much complexity in these type of boss battles that they are real fun and real interesting to play through. Like, this is probably one of my favorite levels. If not my favorite level. Just, because I also love the way it looks. Just the color scheme. General Grievous is probably one of my favorite villains from Star Wars. Commander Cody fighting with him and then immediately turning on him afterwards because of Order 66. Like, that concept just seems so cool to me, where it's like, you just helped save his life, and then you immediately stab him in the back. It's like, it's also the idea where it's like, had you executed Order 66 literally a minute earlier, we wouldn't have an issue. Like, you execute Order 66... 5 minutes earlier, General Grievous would still be alive. I mean, Emperor Palpatine might have had him then be killed because he's part of the Separatists and he's not holding on to the idea of the Separatists. But it's still the fact that he would have still existed for you to make that call. But the fact that it's in a battle, in which case there is a winner and a loser, is cool. Speaking of winner and loser, that's it for that level. What'd that take me? I think it actually took me like 3 minutes. So, and then he shoots him in the chest and his heart explodes, which is a great death theme, because since he's mostly droid, you actually get this weird mix of watching him die and watching him be destroyed. Like, it's a weird mix in between the two of them, which I think worked out in the scene. So, the Mandalorian episode 3 just came out, and I 100% called what would happen. They show a flashback scene where his family is on Mandalore and he's a kid, and the Separatists show up with their droids, and they kill his family and almost kill him. And that's exactly what I called out when I watched the first episode. And you want proof? Watch my videos, because there are totally videos. I'm so hoping it's in one of the videos that is already published, and not one of the ones that are that's going to be like released on Monday, because then I'll look like an asshole. But I totally called it, and you can watch and be like, wow, he was right. He totally said it, and I just gave all my proof. I could have made a film theory about it. Take that, Matt Pat, beating you to the punch. Oh my god. This is probably my least favorite of these levels. But that's not because the level itself is bad. but because of the part, well, you'll see it later on. But when I have to go through and I have to 100% beat this level, and it's like try to get everything and try and get like true Jedi and the gold bricks. God, the gold bricks. It sucks because there's a scene, and I'll point out when I see it. I'll tell you about it. There's just non-stop enemies, which I bitch and complain about in the new game. I bitch and complain about in the old game. You can't. It was bad then. It's bad now. Enemies are supposed to stop you from getting to your objective, and when you have a constant stream of them, you can't ever overcome that challenge, which is bad and dumb and yada yada yada. So it was hours, probably, of me playing this level over and over again, especially when I had to get the blue mini kits because it's timed, and you don't know where they are, so there's a lot of exploration while you're dying and spending. It was just hell. It's just like one bad experience, one bad section ruins it. It's the idea that you have some spoiled meat, you mix it with meat, you have now more spoiled meat. You don't have some spoiled meat and some good meat. You just don't know what's in which. It's all spoiled at that point. I do know where I can find... Oh, I love that. Let me do it again. Because this is the first time I'm actually getting to play as a Wookiee. Namely Chewbacca. But you actually get to rip his arms off. And that is going back to when C-3PO is playing chess with Chewbacca. And he makes a joke about Wookiees ripping people's arms off when they lose. And the fact that now in this game, he rips people's arms off, it is such a great nod. And it's something that's so, like, that would normally be so graphic and violent in games, but the fact that it's Lego, they can get away with it. People are like, oh, it's cute. It's like he's pulling apart his toys. But he's not. It's murder. It's cold murder. You can see it in his eyes. He meant it when he ripped that guy's arms off. He wanted him to die of infection. Speaking of arms off, holy crap, I just watched Monty Python's Quest for the Holy Grail again. That movie is so funny. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. Stop watching this video, go watch it. You can get it on Amazon, you can probably get it on Netflix. There's probably stuff you can find it online, yada yada. DVDs still exist. But I love it. And the reason it reminded me of that is because there's a scene where you have to... I think I actually have to take the thing over. What a scream. Totally forgot about the Yoda scream that just became a meme recently. Because that was ridiculous. But... What was it talking about? Monty Python, yeah. The reason it reminds me of it... Where's Chewbacca? There we go. The reason it reminds me of it is because that there's a level... Jeez, a level. There's a level in my favorite movie. There's a video clip that you can watch online where there's a knight guarding the passageway that the round table needs to cross in order to get to the Holy Grail. And as they go to fight him, he starts blocking the way, and... Ooh, I'll get that. Thank you very much. He's, like, fighting them, and as he's swinging through and taps him on the shoulder with the smallest little tap, there's just this massive cut that appears across his arm, and his entire arm just falls off. And he's like, alright, you're done. I mean, I don't want to spoil the joke, but it's just like his entire arm falls off, and it's ridiculous. I haven't watched all of The Flying Circus, but I started watching it because it's on Netflix. I'm never going to get to finish that show now because I canceled my Netflix subscription in choice for Disney Plus, and people are like, why don't you have both? That costs a lot of money, man, money that I don't have. But I never got to finish that show, and I don't know if I would. It didn't kind of seem like my thing. but it definitely was funny as hell watching the movies. Like The Secret of Life. What's the other one called? Secret of Life. That's the one where the guy explodes. Life of Brian. Is that the one where, like, there's Biggest Dickus? And then there's Monty Python. And then just some of their skits that you can watch online. I mean, I just loved it. And people are going to be like, how can you not like Flying Circus? You see, the problem is you just didn't finish watching it. It gets better as it goes on. I'm like, well, maybe it does, but I don't want it to get better as it goes on. I want it to get better now. And it's like a problem I have where, like, when people told me to watch Game of Thrones, I watched Game of Thrones. I got the Telltale game. You can watch me play a bit of it on my channel. But I'm not sure if I'm going to go back to that game because I watched the first season, 2 seasons of Game of Thrones, and I don't like that show. And I'm going to get a lot of flack for saying that, but that is not... It's good, it's not for me. Because it's just... It has long episodes, which isn't a problem for a lot of people, but it is for me, because when each episode is an hour and like a half... Just sit down and watch a movie every day. It gets draining, and it starts to feel more like a chore. Like that's like sitting down and watching hours upon hours of Rick and Morty stuff. It's like normal TV shows, which are 22 minutes. You could watch 4 episodes in the span of one Game of Thrones. And a lot of people are going to be like, yeah, but you're like going off about The Mandalorian and they have long episodes. And that's what I don't like about The Mandalorian. It could easily have breaks in between it where it's like, all right, this is episode 1 and here's episode 2. But they don't. They have it so that it's like, okay, it could end here and it feels like it should end here, but we're going to keep it going. We're going to keep doing stuff. It also just makes it then feel like they're over-explaining everything to you. Like, whenever they have, like, Baby Yoda and the Force, and they have, like, scenes where it's, like, them talking about it, it's like, I don't care. I mean, I do care, but, like, it's not necessary for this. Or there's scenes where it's like, I know this is just here, that way you could make it the 40 minutes you want it to be. Sorry, I went quiet there because I hate to admit it, but I was 100% focusing on beating these guys in Lego goddamn Star Wars. I do like the lengths of these, because it's a good mix of one level is 4 minutes, the next was like 11. And we'll be going into the next one. But that'll be happening next time on AGameOverGamer. Next time on AGameOverGamer. That stuff happens. If you want to see the last episode, it's already up on my channel. The next one is probably up on my channel as well. Or it will be very shortly. But until next time, guys, I enjoyed recording this episode. I hope you enjoyed watching it. And I will see you guys in the next one. Because this is Game Over.